Hello, I'm back. I've got a different jumper on. The last three videos, I think, I've had the same jumper on, but I broke the cycle. I look rough, but that's because I've just woke up and I am in the middle of a nerve damage attack in my eye. But you know, I can still chat. So, I wanted to do a reasons to homeschool or home educate, we have time for. I want to do a reasons to homeschool video, but I didn't want to pick like the obvious ones that I've said before that other people say all the time. So there might be a couple you've heard before, but I've tried to pick ones that aren't as easily picked. So the first one is reasons to homeschool or reasons to want to homeschool. I've done the list, that's what the crinkling is. Teacher-student ratio. Even if you have 10, 12, 14, 16, 20 kids, that's still a better student-teacher ratio than what they have in school. In school, they have 35 kids plus per teacher. And even if you chuck in a couple of teaching assistants, there's still a better student-teacher ratio in your home. There's going to be more chance. I mean, yes, chances are the different ages will be doing different things, but the older kids will become more self-directed learners as they get older. And even if none of them are, there's still going to be more time for that one-to-one, sit down with them, make sure they understand it, they can come to you with anything type student-teacher ratio. So that's my first one. It's a much better student-teacher ratio. The second one is, which you might have heard before, is family connection. If you're spending all day, every day with your kids, you're going to end up having a really strong family connection. The home, there's this kind, this could be a whole different video. There's this whole, because people think homeschoolers are stuck inside all day, stuck at home all day. There's this kind of trend of people going out of their way to prove we went out, 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 we went to this club, went to that club. When in actual fact, home education allows the home, the family, to become the centre of your universe, which is not a bad thing. And when siblings spend all day together, yeah, they still bicker, yeah, they still quibble, but they do become each other's best friends. So you get a much stronger, a better family connection, or you can do. I mean, there's some people whose kids go to school who have incredible family bonds, isn't there? I'm not discrediting that. We can have a big family connection. So what's the third one? Reason to want to homeschool, home educate. All the time that is free and available, that is not wasted on things you're not interested in. I could do a whole video on how much time schools waste. I mean, during COVID, during the lockdown, and I've probably said this before, there was a couple of people I know whose kids are in school, and you know how you had to do distance learning, or you know, the school sent them work to do from home. They were doing it 9 till 3, and they were sat at the table 9 till 3, and it was stressing them out. And I couldn't believe my ears. I was like, "What are you doing? What could you possibly be filling the time with 9 till 3?" Because these primary school age kids, by the way, not secondary school, because it isn't even 9 till 3 at school. By the time you take out break time, lunch time, walking between classes, settling down when you get to new classes, assembly, all the rest of it. It's not even sat down at a table 9 till 3 at school. So I was like, what the hell are you doing? But anyway, so there's a lot of time wasted at school in that way. But I mean it in regards to wasting time on things you're just not interested in, or things that you're never going to be good at. It doesn't matter what you do. When you was at school, how many hours do you think you spent just sat there staring out the window thinking, I don't care about this, or I'm never going to get this? And when you home educate, that time's freed up to really delve into things that they are good at and they do care about. I mean, don't get me wrong, this isn't typical of home educated children, but when you see these home educated children and they're like, oh, they've got a university level maths age at 12, or they managed to invent this, or they've started up their own business, or Lanky Box have started up a really successful YouTube channel. They wouldn't have, or I'm trying to think, any kind of child actor or whatever, they wouldn't have had time to do that if they was at school, because school takes up so much of your time, wasting your time on things you don't care about. I'm never ever gonna care about Shakespeare. Made you at school and college. Never gonna care about that. Yeah, they're expected to sit. I mean, I get that you've got to give. This idea of school is you give them all the same opportunities and you open their world up to the same things. But if you genuinely don't care about it and you're not going to get it, you're just wasting their time. My other reasons, I'll be up in a minute. I'm just interrupting this video to say, if you'd like to support my channel or gain access to very regular, raw and filtered large family homeschool vlogs, because I don't make a penny off YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, which is fine, but times are hard friends for you. But if you're interested, I'll link it below. Right, back to the reasons, my loves. The fourth thing is character development. People shy away from this. They think it's some kind of, you know, it must be something strict, or insisting that they follow a certain code, or some kind of, I don't know, indoctrination or something, which is not the case. Character development, raising decent people. Now, people say to me, your kids are really polite and, you know, they're helpful and what have you. Well, guess what? They're not spending 8:30 till nearly 4 o'clock every day with people that are the opposite of those character traits. It's like alcoholism or drug addiction, which you might think I'm being extreme here, but hear me out. If you want to stop being an alcoholic or taking drugs, 9 times out of 10 you've got to completely remove yourself from that set of friends, because they're going to get you to keep doing it. They're going to drag you down. They're not the examples you need to follow anymore. So you have to remove yourself from alcoholics and drug addicts and hang out with people who aren't like that, because you mirror behaviour. If you spend all day every day with a load of people that are rude, disrespectful, bullies, whatever, chances are you're going to pick some of that up. Character development is important, because it doesn't matter how educated you are, and it doesn't matter how skilled you are, if you can't talk to people, if you're not a decent person, if people think you're an arsehole, you ain't going anywhere. And that's just the way I feel. It's a character development. And also, you know, there's a lot of room for free thinking and being who you are, and discovering for yourself who you are and what you believe in and what you're interested in when you home educate, without peer pressure and or teachers telling you no. So that helps with character development as well. Which leads me nicely on to the next one, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, the fifth one, brainwashing. Right. When you're little, the brain is like a plastic organ anyway, where it can be moulded, and when you're very little, you're very, very susceptible to what you're exposed to. People might say, oh, you know, you're pushing your own beliefs and you're pushing your own ideals and your own values on your children. Well, they're going to learn something. They're going to learn something. They're going to have something soaking into those little impressionable brains. It might as well be what you consider to be the right thing. If you send them to school, I mean, let's not forget, schools are government institutions. What has the government done in the last few years that makes you think you can trust them? And the agendas and things that are being pushed in school at the moment. I don't want to offend anybody, but I've seen, so I won't go into details, but I've seen examples myself of a child that went to the local secondary school, and they was made to believe this, that and the other, to the point that they wasn't comfortable in their own body and they was harming themselves, and they was taken out of school. And within about 7 months, because there was a lot of damage to undo, within about 7 months of being at home with their mother and only being subjected to people who loved this child, that they went back to being themselves, and they're quite happy and healthy now and secure in who they are. So, brainwashing. It's also brainwashing in the fact that, I mean, these recent attendance campaigns from the government about he had a cold this morning, now look at him at school, attendance matters. He had a stomachache this morning, now look at him at school, attendance matters. We know for a fact that the school system was invented to produce factory fodder, and this attendance campaign backs that up for me, because it's saying no matter how you're feeling, no matter what's going on, you will turn up and do the job. So it's brainwashing you to accept that kind of life as well. Getting a bit deep now. Right, number 6. Reason to home educate. If the school doesn't care about what you care about, these are your children, and there's nothing more important than how your children are raised. And if somebody has your children full time, they're effectively raising your children. If the school doesn't care about what you care about, and that could be a whole range of things, that could be religious, health, the way they learn, how much outside time they have, how much they care about nature, anything. It could be anything. It could be absolutely anything. But if the school, or none of the schools near you, values even remotely line up with yours, why are you sending your children? I spoke to someone recently whose child was going to the local secondary school where they're teaching them this, that and the other. And I says, how do you feel about that? And she said, oh, well, hopefully she'll ignore all that and take it with a pinch of salt. And I was like, hopefully she'll ignore all that. So one, you're sending them somewhere where you're not comfortable with what they're teaching them because their values don't align with yours. And 2, you're just hoping your child will ignore all that. So it's like, why are they here then? So they're my, is it 6? They're my 6. The student-teacher ratio is better family connection. Your time is not wasted on things that you're not interested in or you're just never going to get. Character development, brainwashing, and if the school doesn't care about what you care about. So they're my top 6, that aren't like I've done in previous videos. Oh, see you in the next one, my loves.